Big game coverage live from Glendale, Arizona. Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, Texas Cheer, and by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, all season long, we've had Michael McCarthy on with us all season long. Normally it's Fridays, a little bit earlier. We're going to have Michael McCarthy yet again. We're glad to have Mike McCarthy of Front Office Sports.
How does it feel? Yeah, you don't get to use Mike. You have to call yourself Michael, right?
I tell you, Rudy, I can't tell you how many tweets I get every week directed at
saying, I hope you get fired.
Cowboy coach.
Well,
I hope you get fired. Why don't you start so-and-so?
Well,
your offense stinks.
My father, I am a father to a Clay Thompson. I named my son Clayton Thompson.
You know how it goes,
just
Rob.
ahead of the time, and so we're very familiar with it. When you walk in and go, "Oh, Clay Thompson," everybody just kind of winks when they see him. So if you're in Texas, you might get free meals whenever you travel around. Just make reservations for Mike McCarthy.
That's right. I like to tell people that Mike McCarthy is kind of the John Smith of Irish names. It's very common. I've worked with Mike McCarthy's. I've worked for Mike McCarthy's. And now, of course, we have a Mike McCarthy coaching the Cowboys.
Well, Mike McCarthy, what your real job is, you work with Front Office Sports, and you guys focus on the business side of the game, and in every aspect. I
love money.
And it's a great portal for those of us that are in the industry, but those that aren't, because you kind of get the idea behind why things are happening.
Yeah.
So, I followed this season. You've been really on top of the NFL broadcasting and streaming agreements that have really been kind of in flux over the last year. We're also watching college football as the franchise or as the conferences coalesce and all that, and the money. As we sit now and we look at where the NFL is as far as how they're delivering their product to us, where are we going to be in 5 years?
Yeah. We're going to be in 5 years is the NFL is going to be even bigger, Rob, than it is right now, if that's possible. What we've tracked at Front Office Sports is this enormous separation, not only between the NFL and other leagues, but the NFL and entertainment. I mean, the NFL dwarfs the Oscars. It dwarfs the Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the Pro Bowl flag games, that's 6 million people.
And it was sold out.
Right. I mean, the other leagues would kill for 6 million viewers. So, I mean, we're all living in the NFL's world right now, Rob, and we got to get used to it because they are the number one property in not only sports but all entertainment. It's truly beachfront property.
Now, we've been talking all week about it. I look back here to my right and I see this big TikTok booth, and it's just one of those things Rob and I have come to grips with, like this social media thing, and it invading what we consider ours as old men. It's here and it's not going anywhere. All these streams like YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever the case may be, these leagues are embracing it and welcoming it.
Yeah.
Is that just for to attract a younger fan base, or just because you have to as a business?
I think, Rudy, it's the latter. You have to as a business. All these leagues are sleepless at night over how to attract younger consumers.
That's what I think.
I've got a 22-year-old college student, an 18-year-old college student. They don't watch linear TV.
No.
They're on TikTok. They're on YouTube. They watch everything on demand. So even the mighty NFL is sleepless at night, worried about how to attract these people. And I'll tell you the truth, Rudy, the best league that's doing it by far is the NBA. The NBA on social media is up here and everybody else is down here.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not even close.
It's not even close, which is why you're seeing the NFL do things it never would have done 10 years ago, like this Nickelodeon game with kids and the
There's a
slime
Nickelodeon
cannons.
booth back there.
Yeah.
There's a Nickelodeon booth back there.
Yeah, that's all designed to get young parents to introduce their kids to the game of football.
Right. And getting them over the stigma, some of the injuries and hitting things they're having to do as well. Now, as we're talking about how it's delivered, it's also how we consume it. Now, with Tom Brady retiring,
right,
we were led to believe that they had dangled a whole bunch of money in front of him and he was going to be in the booth sitting in front of us next year. Should Fox just say, go? Well, how dare you say it? I'm going to take a year off. I'll just see it here. Where are we headed with Brady? Is he imminently headed, or is it going to be a year?
It is going to be a year. I think Fox wants to be in the Tom Brady business very, very bad, Rob. because when Lachlan Murdoch, it was actually Lachlan Murdoch, the head of the corporation who made the announcement, hired him, he said that Brady was not only going to be an announcer, he was going to be an ambassador. So he's going to be involved in marketing. He's going to be involved in sales. I mean, can you imagine you're General Motors and you're sitting there trying to decide if you want to buy a Super Bowl spot, and Tom Brady comes into the room to seal the deal, shakes your hand, throws your kid a football. You're going to be like, where do I sign on the dotted line, right? So that's what he could do for Fox.
Okay, given that.
Go ahead.
Over the last week, we've seen some of the, we saw CBS get a little upset with Romo. I don't know whether it's all true or justified or not. And Greg Olson's been the recipient of, hey, look at how good Greg's doing. Well, now Greg might be taking a B seat. And so how is all this going to shake out? Is Romo's certainly safe with CBS, but what do you take from that?
That is the biggest question right now. Does Olson accept dropping down the depth chart to number 2, which means a cut in money and the loss of a Super Bowl in 2 of the next 3 Super Bowls? So if Brady does take the job, he'll be calling the Super Bowl after the 2025 season, not Olson. So if I'm Olson, you have a choice. I can either play the long game and hope maybe Brady doesn't like TV or flops on TV, in which case he gets the number 1 job back, or he tries for a number 1 job at another network like NBC, where Collinsworth isn't getting any younger, or even CBS, where, as you said,
they may kick Romo out, bring Olson in.
The bloom is off the rose there after 5 years of Tony Romo.
Yeah, because $37 million, they're going to give Tom a little bit of time. Now, Michael, one thing we used to look forward to on Super Bowl was the new commercials. But I feel like the NFL, because they're so pricey, I can't afford to shoot a brand new commercial and pay you. So now the commercials have kind of taken the back seat because you're like, hey, I'm going to buy the spot. But it's going to be this commercial that's been running for a year. So we don't even get to really feel like we used to sit down in front of the TV and wait on the commercial
for them. Yeah.
Now it's like, how much is it? $5 million a spot?
It's $7 million for 30 seconds of in-game ad time. And that doesn't even count, Rudy, the production cost to shoot the spot.
Right.
And then you got to hire these Hollywood directors who all think they're Spielberg to shoot a 60-second spot. So, I mean, the cost could run into the tens of millions. That's why a big change that you're seeing is, rather than that surprise factor that we all knew about when we waited Sunday to see the commercials, what they're doing is they're teasing them earlier and earlier. They're trying to get them to go viral. They're putting them on TikTok, putting on YouTube. They're trying to get people talking about the spot. So by the time it finally airs, everybody's like, oh, I've seen this already. This is good.
Every morning in my inbox, I get an email from Front Office Sports every morning. And the things that we talk about, the things that sporting fans really care about, you want to find the dollar value. I want you to go to FOS, Front Office Sports, and get that in your inbox. First of all, if you're listening right now, it's something that's not just for inside the industry.
It's great fun facts.
If you really
thank you guys, I really
get behind the scenes. And when we saw that you were available, I wanted to talk to you because thank you for covering a part of the sports world that not a lot of us dive into. And once you kind of start taking a bite of that piece of pie, you understand why other things are happening. Yeah. And you might not have really seen where it's going. So Mike McCarthy joining us right here on San Antonio Sports Star as we look at the business side of the NFL. And one of the things we like to talk about when we talk about the NFL is how big it is. But in the world of sports, when you go, to say just India and they're doing They're covered 3 times for their cricket championship, the number of viewers. We think we're big and we capitalize. But compare what the NFL is when we're talking about Premier League and we're talking about cricket, because we're not even
F1.
Or F1.
Yeah. And the NFL is the quintessential American sport. And the Super Bowl is the quintessential American game. It's a game for and by Americans. And one of the reasons why Goodell has had trouble reaching his goal of $27 billion in annual revenue is because they haven't been able to crack that international market where soccer and cricket and all these other sports rules. So I think that's going to be the next step you're going to see. I think 5 years, I will predict right now, you can book it. There's going to be an international NFL team. You could see it already playing in Europe or even Munich, where the game is
Mexico,
huge.
maybe?
Or Mexico City. And I also think within 10 years, we're going to see an international Super Bowl again to try to crack that global market.
Michael. Now you want to make an American mad.
Yeah, that's right.
You want to make, because I don't have a problem with it. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll watch it, whatever. But there will be people highly, highly upset you put the Super Bowl international. You know what I mean? But is that why they did that deal with we're trying to figure out how to pronounce it. Is it Danzon? Is it DAZN?
DAZN.
So it is
Yeah.
DAZN. So that's a part of the reason they did this deal with DAZN, right?
Yeah, and Rudy, I would be at the top of the list of outraged Americans waving Old Glory and saying, "How dare they do this?"
Unless I had tickets, then I might not be quite as upset if it was at an exotic.
That's
hotel.
right, Rob. As long as you're on the plane, right?
Michael McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. I'll tell you again, it's front office sports. You want to be knowledgeable and know what you're talking about. It's in your inbox every day, and it covers the pantheon of stuff. And I use y'all's question of the day as topics a lot of times.
Thank
you.
you.
Really thought-provoking. I want to thank you for stopping by. We saw you were here. We wanted to catch up and really kind of get behind the scenes, Michael.
Hey, most importantly, thank you for the follow. I'm a huge social guy. I'm with the NFL. Thanks for the follow. I followed you back. I appreciate you.
Follow Michael McCarthy back at the very least. Make sure you're reading front office sports every day. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Appreciate you, Michael.
It's good to catch up with the guys.
Thank
Keep
you,
me
man.
informed to make us sound good.